Lots of announcements for new games, some rumors to talk about in terms of the Xbox and Bethesda showcase, and the state of play aired yesterday. We'll go over it. I'll give you my thoughts, and there is a really awesome announcement that I'm happy to see. A game this time around is going to be multi-platform. So we're heading into probably the busiest and most announcement-packed week this year for video games, ending off next week with the June 12th event with the Xbox and Bethesda showcase. But there is a bunch of stuff before that as well with Summer Games Fest. And right now we're getting lots of information, lots of speculation of some of the things that we potentially could see as announcements. So I want to talk about that, as well as later on we'll go over the stuff that we saw within the PlayStation showcase. So first of all here, we are hearing rumors now the Final Fantasy VII could be finally making its way over to Xbox. We know this has been a very long time. This is something that people have wanted. Then you have other people that have kind of just given up on seeing if Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to make its way over. They even released Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, which was the upgraded version with just a bit more content in there. It was only on PlayStation as well. So hope had been dwindling about Final Fantasy VII coming to the Xbox platform. But luckily, there is a little bit of hope now that potentially could be restored, as it is now being spotted that FF7 Remake is no longer being listed in the PlayStation console exclusive section of their store. And it's going to be 1 year on June 10th since they had that release of Integrate, which would have given it that year exclusivity. And we know the Xbox and Bethesda showcase will be taking place on June 12th. So this could be one of those announcements that we get going into that showcase. And hey, maybe they will announce that you're able to go ahead right away and play it on Xbox Game Pass. I think overall, this would be something, even if you don't care about Final Fantasy, you're annoyed that they ignored the Xbox platform for so long with Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think this is something that people would be excited to play, especially if they haven't checked it out yet. Myself, I did play it on the PS4. I enjoyed the game, but hey, maybe I would jump back in and play it on Xbox just to get some of those achievements. So I would like to see this, and I would like to see Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate getting that full release into Xbox Game Pass that we can go ahead and play right away. Now, the next thing I want to talk about here is another announcement, and we got the official name of the upcoming Dragon Age game, which is Dragon Age Dreadwolf. So we don't have any more information on the game itself other than the official name, Dragon Age Dreadwolf. And naturally, they say here it is the reference to the Dreadwolf, a powerful elven god. And in Dragon Age Inquisition's Trespasser expansion, we learned that the player companion Solus is in fact a Dreadwolf. Now, will we see some more stuff on this game going forward throughout Summer Games Fest? I hope so. Maybe an early gameplay trailer as to what we can expect with this new Dragon Age. There is a lot of expectations for this game to turn out good, and there's also a lot of doubt that it will turn out good with BioWare and their recent work with games like Anthem and Mass Effect Andromeda, which just didn't get very good reviews. They were not critically acclaimed whatsoever. People were definitely not fans of those games. And there is a lot to prove if BioWare still has it, and Dragon Age Dreadwolf is going to be one of those games to see if they still have what they had back in the day with the original Mass Effect series, with the first Dragon Age, and if they can just get that magic back from even way back with the Knights of the Old Republic. If they can somehow summon that magic they had to make those RPGs, I think Dragon Age Dreadwolf does have a chance. Next up, we're seeing some rumors about a game that I am extremely excited about. I know we're going to see a lot of AAA games throughout Summer Games Fest, but this is a game that probably has me just as excited as some of those AAA games, and a game that we're most likely going to be able to play very soon. And this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, the remake or the reimagining, the revival of the awesome beat 'em ups from back in the day, from the arcade, from the NES, from the Super Nintendo. And so far what we've seen from this game, they showed off a lot of gameplay. It looks like it is a ton of fun. And we have some information here that according to PlayStation database, the TMNT Shredder's Revenge is coming June 16th, 2022. They also say, again, take with a grain of salt because it could just be a placeholder date, but that would make a ton of sense because we've seen so many of these special editions of these games shown off, tons of gameplay. It looks like this game is ready to go. The weirdest thing is we just don't have a release date yet. And you could make a pretty, I think, good assumption that they're probably holding it back for a big showcase where they're going to say, hey, you can go out and play this right now. And hey, maybe Xbox comes out on June 12th, and this is a game that's going to be launching into Xbox Game Pass. I wouldn't be surprised if this happened. We saw Streets of Rage 4 launch directly into Xbox Game Pass. A lot of people enjoyed that game and a lot of people played it. And this would continue along those lines as a Streets of Rage 4 style of release into this service with the co-op, being able to play with people right away. And yes, not a AAA launch, but again, like I said, I think this would get a lot of people hyped up. This is one that a lot of people are looking forward to. It has the nostalgia pull on your heartstrings for people who played these games back in the day. And if you're new to this style of game, you're new to the TMNT beat 'em up, from the gameplay we've seen, I think a lot of people will be enticed to try it out. And finally, we got this here, some more information about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and that the worldwide reveal will be coming on June 8th. They just put out a quick 1-minute teaser trailer, really didn't show too much off, and then they finalized the trailer here with the date that they're going to reveal it, which I have some questions. It's interesting for a couple of reasons, and that can be the fact that so far, from what we understand, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is still within the marketing rights of PlayStation. From the leaks that we've seen, they have the open beta first. They have some additional content that Xbox is not seemingly getting. Now, none of this has been confirmed, but it's interesting because they didn't show this game off at the PlayStation State of Play. And you'd think with a game as prominent as Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the remake of it, you would want to show that off and highlight it in your showcase, because that will get a lot of people excited. This is going to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, Call of Duty ever. It has so much pull in terms of a cultural phenomenon, in terms of the way that people played this back on the 360, just how big it was. You're going to have people playing it who played it back on the 360. You're going to have people who didn't, but play Call of Duty. Then you're going to have people jumping into this game as potentially their first Call of Duty ever. And it's going to be just absolutely insane when this game releases. So the fact that they didn't advertise it, I'm very surprised, because it was a third-party and PSVR Studios showcase. But what does this mean? Because this mean that maybe we see something going with the Xbox and Bethesda showcase. I predicted, I know it's a out there prediction, it probably isn't going to happen, that this game is going to be launching into Xbox Game Pass on day one. Microsoft is going to shell out that money, whatever it takes, because of the fact that Starfield and Redfall got delayed. And if you're able to get this game onto a subscription service on day one, it will literally just be a money printer for subscriptions and for the platform that it is on. So I hope it is. I'm excited to see the reveal on June 8th, and maybe all of this thoughts about it coming to Xbox will be absolutely crushed on June 8th when they finally talk about it and they show it off on PS5 and they show it off with all the PlayStation branding, and they announce that the open beta is coming first to PlayStation. Then you're solidified that those marketing rights are with PlayStation. But if not, June 12th could be a very interesting thing in terms of Call of Duty. Now, when it comes to the Xbox and Bethesda showcase, we're going to hear probably some more info, some more people having a little bit of inside information about what we should expect to see at the showcase as we get closer to June 12th. And we have Jeff Grubb here, who says that he expects a lot of gameplay to be shown off at the Xbox showcase, because last year Xbox had mandated that these studios have gameplay ready for the showcase. And some of the games he says you can expect will be Avowed and Contraband. However, with Contraband, it is less likely than Avowed, because obviously it's shorter in development and there have been delays. But I think the key for the Xbox and Bethesda showcase, besides some exciting announcements that nobody saw coming for Xbox Game Pass and maybe games released in 2022, it is to show off gameplay of all of these games in the works, because people are tired of seeing the CGI stuff. They're tired of waiting to get more information about these games, and gameplay will give confidence that Xbox Game Studios is on the right track, and we're getting closer to getting an Xbox Game Studio released every 3 to 4 months into the service. If we can get gameplay from a bunch of these games that they have talked about over the past years, it seemingly will show that these games are closer to release than when you think 2023 is going to be huge, 2024 is going to be huge, and we're going to be getting tons of Xbox Game Studios games going forward. Avowed specifically, if they have a decent longer gameplay trailer of that where they go into depth as to what this game is all about, the mechanics, the RPG mechanics, stuff like that, I think people will be very, very excited. And that will be probably one of the biggest highlights of the Xbox and Bethesda showcase. All right, and to end things off today, let's quickly talk about the state of play that happened yesterday. Now, I watched the state of play. I thought it actually was really awesome. There was tons of great games that they showed off, lots of third-party games. There were a few, I think, exclusive PlayStation games in there in terms of PS4 and PS5 and PC, or at least console exclusive, with a game like Eternal Nights and another one called Stray, which is also coming to the PlayStation Plus subscription. But other than that, they showed off some big third-party ones like Resident Evil 4 Remake. They're going to have a bunch of VR stuff for Resident Evil Village, as well as some other cool PSVR stuff in terms of like Horizon and The Walking Dead. They showed off Callisto Protocol, which again is going to be a third-party game coming over to all consoles, and this game right here looks just incredible. Like, I can't wait to play this one. Terrifying third-person action horror survival game. I think this game is going to be awesome, so I can't wait to get my hands on that. They also had a big announcement for another big game from PlayStation Studios coming over to PC, and that is it right here, Spider-Man Remastered. This is going to be huge on PC. This one thing is going to sell like crazy. And it's just more PlayStation games coming to PC. We know PlayStation's strategy is to bring more games to PC. They're saying half by 2025. I think it will be more than half by 2025. I think we will start to see a lot more throughout these years. First-party PlayStation games coming over. But yeah, PlayStation Spider-Man's Remastered. You're going to be able to pick this up on PC on August 12th, 2022. Then they went on and showed off some other kind of unique stuff. You have Roller Dome here, which is like a rollerblading action shooting game. They have this one here called Eternal Nights. I think this one is just a PlayStation exclusive, console exclusive, and it's like a JRPG action game with like a dating sim involved in there as well. So if you're into that type of stuff, you're going to want to check that out. And then they announced this, Tunic. Tunic, as we know, came to Xbox Game Pass day one. A Game of the Year candidate for me. I think it's a masterpiece of a game, and it's going to be making its way out onto PlayStation platforms in September, which I think is great because more people are going to be able to experience this game. And Tunic, an indie dev, they need more support in order to be able to create more games, and I think it's good that people are going to see the masterpiece that this game is on the PlayStation platforms. Now, other than that, there were two other huge announcements. So you ended off the show here with Final Fantasy 16, as we know is a timed console exclusive for PlayStation, also coming to PC. Absolutely amazing. Coming out in September 2023. This trailer blew me away. I cannot wait to play Final Fantasy 16. I may have to pick it up day one when it drops, either PS5 or PC. Probably on PS5 for me because I haven't played my PS5 that much, and this would give me a great reason to boot the console up. But then my favorite announcement throughout this entire show, the thing that got me the most excited was when they finally showed off Street Fighter's gameplay. And Street Fighter 6 has now been confirmed that it is coming in 2023. It looked so cool. Like, it looked like this really cool aesthetic to it, like a street style to it, like a graffiti style. Looked like you're going to have a lot more in terms of customization of your characters. Looked like there's going to be a single player like training thing where you're running through the city and just doing a bunch of stuff. And they even say here in a tweet, Street Fighter 6 hits the scene in 2023, experience a brand new era of Street Fighter with a system built for creativity, vibrant art direction, and new modes that will reimagine the fighting game genre. So the new modes is what has me really excited. If you remember back to Street Fighter 5 when that game first came out, I was excited for Street Fighter 5. My issues with Street Fighter 5 were that it came out bare bones. It was a PlayStation exclusive, and it wasn't on Xbox. It wasn't on Nintendo at the time for that, or any other platforms. I think it was also on PC as well. But it was a bare bones game. It had a very rocky launch, and it turned me off from Street Fighter 5 when I first picked it up. And I'm hoping they don't do the same thing here. The best thing, though, from this announcement as well is that it is coming to all platforms, coming to PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, PC. So you're just going to have a huge community of fighters and a huge base to be able to jump in online and play with other people. But yeah, all in all, I thought this was a great event for the third-party stuff. And if you're interested in PSVR 2, there is some cool stuff that you're going to be able to check out. And just again, like, happy to see that a lot of these games are going to be multi-platform, so you're not going to be missing out on a bunch of stuff. So lots to be excited for. 2023 is going to be a huge year. 2022 overall, I would say everywhere has been dry. Obviously, right now, the driest on Xbox in terms of first-party content, but there's still so much to play with Xbox Game Pass. But 2023, you think about the games that are just announced with this state of play. You think about more games that are going to be announced throughout next week and the shows come up, and then the Xbox and Bethesda showcase. 2023 is going to be one of the best years if everything comes out in video games. But that's it for me, guys. Let me know your thoughts on all of this stuff, on Dragon Age, on the state of play, on what you want from the Xbox and Bethesda showcase. Are you want to see Avowed? Do you want to see Contraband? What do you think about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge? You think that's going to be coming out on to Game Pass, and you think it's going to launch on June 16th? So much to talk about. It's going to be a very busy week ahead. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Bye.